The last NFL season with Reebok uniforms. I didn't. When did? Huh? What was it? 2011. Was the Chargers good then? I believe it was pretty decent. You know what I'm saying? If I had to say so myself.
The year is 2011. The NFL was back from the brink after a summer-long lockout that threatened to wipe out the season, and every team was making up for lost time. In the draft, Carolina used the #1 pick on the Heisman winner out of Auburn, Cam Newton, a quarterback built like a linebacker with a cannon arm.
That 2011 draft was crazy, bro. Jesus Christ.
And the aura of someone who knew he was about to change the league. Denver followed with Von Miller, a pass-rushing freak out of Texas A&M who'd become the soul of their defense for the rest of the decade. Cincinnati took A.J. Green ahead of Julio Jones, and even though Jake Locker, Blaine
he fucked it up.
Gabbert, and Christian Ponder were all-time quarterback busts, studs like Patrick Peterson, J.J. Watt, Richard Sherman, and Jason Kelsey, just to name a few, made up one of the most loaded draft classes of all time. But as much as 2011 was about the next generation, the preseason narrative was about Aaron Rodgers, fresh off a Super Bowl win where he'd shredded the Steelers and silenced every critic. Rodgers entered the year with the Packers favored to repeat, and his name now mentioned alongside Brady, Breeze, and Peyton Manning, who was in the
and Rivers. Don't forget about Phillip Rivers.
Midst of a series of neck surgeries, putting his availability for the season in serious.
I think we can easily say this is the best draft class. I think we can. 2011 NFL draft. I think you'd have a hard case saying that this wasn't. Cam, Vaughn, Marcel Darius, AJ Green, Pat Pete, Julio Jones, Alden Smith before everything happened. He was amazing. Tyron Smith, JJ Watt, Nick Fairley, Robert Quinn, Pouncey, Kerrigan, Nate Solder. Corey Liuget he played a solid amount of years. Even Prince Mukamara. You know what I'm saying? Phil Taylor was decent. Same thing with Claiborne. Nothing crazy. Costanzo. Cam Jordan still playing. Carpenter's pretty good. Jimmy Smith at DB. Mark Ingram. Mo Wilk. Cam Hayward. Dalton. Cap. You got Kyle Rudolph. Brooks Reed was even pretty good. Orlando Franklin was pretty good. Lance Kendricks. Wisniewski. Gilchrist was decent. Nothing crazy. Paella was pretty good. Rodney Hudson, Shane Vereen, Torrey Smith, Greg Little, Randall Cobb, Terrell McClain, even Kelvin Shepard, Justin Houston, DeMarco Murray, Stephen Ridley, Jarrell Casey, Chris Culver. Yeah. Joe Barstow's pretty decent. Chris Conte was the only right DB that was pretty fast. KJ Wright, even this one, they're decent, nothing crazy. Roy Healy was average, but startable sometimes. Who am I missing? Just this is an amazing, Julius Thomas, even though he only had one good crazy year. Who am I missing? Cecil Shorts, where was he at? Did I miss him? If I missed him, Cecil Shorts as well. Yeah, but this draft class, I believe Jacquizz Rodgers. This draft class was Sherman. I think this was the best draft class of all time. Pernell McPhee was pretty good. Tyrod Taylor. Even Dwayne Harris was pretty decent. Byron Maxwell. Like I said, it's Jason Kelsey. And Virgil Green was decent for a little bit. I think that's about it for the most part. Derek Newton was decent-ish. He was decent-ish. Bruce Miller was decent-ish too. Lawrence Guy. Gatchkar. Jimmy Wilson. Malcolm Smith. So, yeah. This draft class was,
Serious doubt. Elsewhere, the Patriots were out for revenge after falling short in the playoffs, uniting Tom Brady with a washed-up Chad Ochocinco and adding the laziest player in NFL history, Albert Haynesworth, to bolster the defense.
98 was fire? Let me see. 98 NFL Let me see. All right, you got Peyton. You got Charles. I mean, I don't know a lot of these players, so I'm just going off of hearsay, Keith Brooken. So I don't 100% know. I mean, you got Hall of Famers, but think about it, in 2011, we're going to have a lot of Hall of Famers too. You know what I'm saying? You got to kill Spikes. You know, so Flozell, Passer 10. I'm sure, like I said, these are probably the two competing classes, but in my opinion, I'm taking 11. Just because I can actually talk about that I've seen it, you know?
But the Eagles had made the loudest splash of the offseason, signing Nnamdi Asomugha, Jason Babin, and Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie to build a super team, at least in the eyes of backup quarterback Vince Young, who dubbed them the Dream Team. And the New York Jets, after back-to-back AFC Championship appearances, were on a mission to finish the job. Now that football's in full swing and basketball's kicking in progress. On opening night at Lambeau Field, the defending champion Packers hosted Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints, in a game that instantly reminded everyone why they'd missed football so much. Rodgers orchestrated 3 touchdown drives in the first quarter alone, while Brees answered with touchdown passes to Devery Henderson and Jimmy Graham to kick the year off in shootout fashion. Rookie Randall Cobb returned to kick off 108 yards for a touchdown, and the Packers won 42-34 in a primetime thriller that gave us a taste of what was to come for the next 17 weeks. In New England, Tom Brady threw for 517 yards on Monday Night Football against Miami. Brady to Welker produced a 99-yard touchdown, and the Patriots dropped 38 on the Dolphins with ease. It was clear New England's offense was going to score on anyone, but the defense was another story.
Boy, this Patriots team still pisses me off to this day.
Then came the league's newest phenomenon. Expectations were high being the first overall pick and all, but no one could have predicted Cam Newton would throw for a record 422 yards in his debut. 1 week later, he followed it with 432 yards. The Panthers lost both games, but Newton looked like a prototype for the future. Even in defeat, he turned one of the worst teams in football into must-see TV. Meanwhile, the Buffalo Bills were the league's biggest surprise. Led by Harvard gunslinger Ryan Fitzpatrick and running back Fred Jackson, the Bills started 3-0. Their signature moment came in week
Stevie Johnson and Fred Jackson?
3 when they erased a 21-0 deficit to stun the Patriots 34-31, snapping a 15-game losing streak against New England. The game ended with Tom Brady throwing 4 picks, and for one glorious Sunday, the Bills were kings of the AFC East. But they weren't the only surprise among the NFL's bottom feeders. The Detroit Lions, long the joke of the league, were looking dangerous too. With the Stafford to Megatron connection in full force, Detroit would open the season 5-0. In San Francisco, rookie head coach from Stanford Jim Harbaugh was transforming the franchise. The 49ers had been bad for a decade, but Harbaugh brought attitude and structure. His quarterback Alex Smith, a former first overall pick written off as a bust, grew into the proficient game manager we would come to know. The Niners opened 3-1 with a clear identity and a nasty defense led by Patrick Willis, Navarro Bowman, and Justin Smith. Whether everyone realized it or not, they were legit contenders. But unlike the 49ers, the Eagles fell flat immediately, opening 1-3, including a loss.
Bro, I feel like football ain't like this no more, man. Like, I obviously it's 15 years ago, but it just don't have that same feeling. I don't know, bro. And you know what else is crazy? The fact that there are so many gambling ads now. Holy Jesus. You can't turn like it's a gambling ad every time, bro. It's fucking crazy. Like on everything, it's DraftKings, FanDuel, like it's everything possible. And no matter what, if you're one of them, that's perfect. I'm just saying the fact that the NFL endorses this shit. How do we, like, you know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. Come on, man. Come on, bro. It's the integrity of the game that we just don't have anymore. I feel like we don't have it no more.
To the Falcons and Michael Vick's Atlanta homecoming. Their high-priced defense was actually complete.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I would never gamble on wrestling to begin with. It's already script. That's a script, but it's an athletic script. But I would never gamble on fucking wrestling unless I knew the people that were in the fucking business and they told me who was going to win. Like, I'm pretty sure the owners, I'm pretty sure like Triple H's son probably legally can't gamble. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only way I'm gambling is if I'm friends with Triple H's son. That's the only way I'm gambling. That's it.
Trash. And Vince Young's.
But Dukes, it's the difference between allowing to gamble because I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be honest. This might sound crazy. Hopefully this doesn't ruin anything in my future. I liked gambling more. Well, I mean, it's not saying that's bad, but I liked gambling more when it was only really like available in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm being real. I mean, you got little spots outside of here or in New Orleans and XYZ, but I liked gambling overall when it was just in these like places. Now you can gamble in all 50 fucking states on 50,000 different things. And it's crazy. That's just me though. That's just me though. Cause like when you come to Vegas now, people don't even come to Vegas to gamble no more. I mean, they still do, but maybe because I live here, I don't see it that much. Maybe that's probably what it is. Cause I live here. That's probably what it is. Maybe when I leave here, maybe that'll like. Even then, I'm not a gambler no more. Vegas done ruined that shit for me. Vegas done ruined gambling and going out for me. I go out, man. Where the food at? Okay, where the food at? Where the drink at? Where the food, drink, and maybe even hookah. Don't bother me. Leave me alone. I mean, I still conversate and associate and you know what I'm saying, be social and not be an asshole. But I really don't like y'all. You know what I'm saying? I really don't want the comfort of my bed is way more comfortable than this shit. Now I got to stand up on here with these couches. The good thing is I ain't been out in a long time, so whenever me and Diz and Noah do go out, it might be better because I haven't heard those songs in the club before. Because it's been since fucking June, May. So it might sound good. I don't know. It might sound better, but for the people that go out every single week, I more power to you.
Comment from the summer became a meme by October. In New
10-piece honey barbecue lemon pepper. That sound gas.
York, the Jets were not delivering on the promise of their back.
But Dukes, there is some app available in every state that you can get it in. You know what I'm saying? It might be a low-key app or it might be a different, but there's an app for every state to gamble. You just got to find it.
To back AFC Championship appearances. The offense was turnover prone and Rex Ryan's...
For example, in Vegas, you can't do Underdog, you can't do FanDuel or Jackson, I believe. But you can do Caesars, William and Hill, and one more.
Defense fell off a cliff.
Why is 10 piece? Because it's a good number. Because 10 piece is really 5 whole wings, which is a great number. A 10 piece wing is really 5 whole wings. That too, bro.
Started 2-2, indicating the past 2 seasons were likely their peak. But the Cowboys squandered what would have been a Week 1 win against the Jets. Tony Romo tore New York apart for 3 quarters before choking the game away in the 4th. He then played through a punctured lung and broken ribs to beat the 49ers in Week 2, which was one of the gutsiest games of his career. But in Week 4, he threw 2 pick sixes against Detroit and it all came crashing down once again. His season was coined the Romo Coaster. And after losing that Week 1 shootout to Green Bay, New Orleans rebounded to 3-1. Building momentum toward yet another playoff run while Breeze was...
To an extent, Duke, it's not like super lemony. Certain places do have super, like, for example, American Deli has straight lemon pepper wet that has like a lemon zing to it, but it's not like the wings don't taste sour. The best way to describe it is like a sweet lemon. I don't know if that even sounds right. It might sound insane, but it's like a sweet lemon, literally. But it's good. But I also like lemon, so that's probably why. But it's like a sweet lemon. I don't know how to really describe it. Lemon pepper's nasty, and so are you.
One of multiple quarterbacks in for a historic year. By the time September ended, one thing was clear: 2011 wasn't going to be normal. The Packers looked completely unbeatable, the Lions were undefeated, and Cam Newton was breaking rookie records. But the first few weeks were also marred by devastating knee injuries. And
God, I remember that, dude. This was fucking terrible.
No team suffered more than the Kansas City Chiefs. After losing promising tight end Tony Moeaki in the preseason, they watched their two best players, safety Eric Berry and running back Jamal Charles, go down with torn ACLs in the opening 2 weeks. In week 3, the Titans lost breakout wide receiver Kenny Britt to the same fate. Another ACL.
Yo, I'm not laughing at this nigga's injury, but this nigga just threw the ball. He just threw the ball and said, fuck it. Nigga, fuck this game. I just got hurt.
Week 3, the Titans lost breakout wide receiver
for
Kenny Britt.
Nigga said he can have the ball, nigga.
To the same fate. Another ACL tear that derailed one of the AFC's most exciting young wideouts. Still, after a summer where it looked like there might not be any football at all, the NFL returned with one of the best opening months the league had ever
seen. I thought that was CD Lamb.
If it wasn't obvious to everyone in September, it was by the end of October that Jim Harbaugh had turned the 49ers into an absolute problem. And in Week 6, the Niners faced the Lions, another team trying to prove they were for real. In one of the most physical games of the year, San Francisco won 25-19 in the hand.
Hey yo, speaking of Harbaugh, I thought of the Chargers, right? Do y'all know there's actual fans that are mad? They're actually mad that Quentin Johnson ain't getting the ball now. What the fuck? Last year, these are the same niggas saying, why he on a roster? Why is he this? Why is he that? Now is, why didn't I give him the ball more? I don't know, bro.
Shake that followed became legend. Harbaugh sprinted toward Lions head coach Jim Schwartz, celebrating a little bit too hard, and Schwartz snapped, chasing him halfway down the field. The handshake game was born, a moment that perfectly captured what Harbaugh had built, a team that was talented, fearless, and obnoxious. By the end of October, the 49ers were 6-1, one of the scariest.
You can't even celebrate like this no more.
Groups in football, as was the Saints' offense. Every week, Drew Brees was lighting up the scoreboard, and in Week 7 on Sunday Night Football, they dropped one of the most lopsided beatdowns in NFL history. A 62-7 win over the Manningless Colts where Drew Brees threw for over 300 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Damn.
And the game became symbolic of two franchises going in opposite directions, as the Colts were to be without Peyton Manning all season, tanking for Andrew Luck. For Dallas, the bright spot was rookie running back DeMarco Murray, who exploded for a 253-yard game against the Rams, breaking Emmitt Smith's single-game rushing record for the franchise. Murray's performance gave Dallas the balance it had been missing for years. Yet the
Nigga. This O-line. Other than maybe the Eagles O-line, this was the best offensive line I've seen with my eyes. The amount of holes they produced were fucking crazy. From left to right. Tyron Smith. Who was the left guard? It was a black dude. Then they had Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, and then somebody else I forget. Let me see. 2011. It might not be this exact year of O-line. It's 14. Okay, let me see. 14. But I know it was the year that. So it's 14 then. So 2014 is the year that. Let me see. 2014 is the year I'm thinking of. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is the year DeMarco had that. Yeah. Tyron Smith, Ronald Leary, Travis Frederick, Zach Martin. Their worst offensive line was Doug Free. And he was still good. He just was their worst one. But from left to right, and all these motherfuckers was under 25. This was just like they were the most annoying O-line to go up against because you wasn't getting no sacks and they was getting hella rushing yards. This was the scariest that they ever looked in my years of the Cowboys. Other than maybe that rookie year with Dak and Zeke.
Themselves constantly hovering around 500. In Oakland, tragedy struck on October 8th when legendary owner and rebel spirit of the Raiders, Al Davis, passed away at 82 years old. That week, the Raiders honored him the only way possible, by winning in his memory, beating the Texans in an emotional 25-20 game, a final tribute to one of football's most iconic figures. But a week later, quarterback Jason Campbell broke his collarbone, and the Raiders, desperate to stay in the hunt, made a perfectly bold Raider-like move, trading 1 first-round pick and 1 second-round pick for Carson Palmer in an attempt to save their season. And despite the loss to them, the Houston Texans were looking like the real deal. Arian Foster was in his prime, defensive coordinator Wade Phillips had transformed their defense.
Madden 12. Book IT.
I think we already did Madden 12 Madden moments.
Powered by a rookie J.J. Watt. So even with injuries to Andre Johnson and Mario Williams, Houston was a legitimate AFC contender for the first time in franchise history. But the Falcons were struggling to rediscover their form. After their 13-3 breakout in 2010, they were stuck in mediocrity at 4-3 despite the addition of Julio Jones. But the story of October was the Denver Broncos, who had started the season 1-4 under quarterback Kyle Orton. Fans were chanting for Tim Tebow, and in Week 7, John Fox gave in. Tebow got his first start against the Miami Dolphins, and for 3 quarters, Denver did nothing offensively. But in the final 5 minutes, Tebow led 2 touchdown drives and tied the game. The Broncos ultimately won in overtime, and a legendary half-season run began. Tebow was unpredictable, inefficient, and impossible to explain, but Denver was alive.
That was not funny, bro.
The Green Bay Packers stood at the top of the standings, finishing November still undefeated at 11-0. And Aaron Rodgers was putting together one of the greatest quarterback seasons in NFL history. He dropped 45 points on both the Chargers and Vikings in back-to-back weeks, tossing 4 touchdowns in each game. Rodgers' passer rating sat at 120.
What did we do to deserve this, bro? 45 is crazy. 45 is crazy, bro. What's my costume this year? I'm being a black man.
28 through November. Something no one had ever done that deep into a season. But football was not as easy for the rest of the league. In early November, the Giants looked ready to come for the Lombardi again. Eli Manning led them into Foxborough and beat the Patriots with a last-minute touchdown drive that mirrored Super Bowl 42. But the second you believed in the Giants, they would disappoint. They followed that huge win with a 4-game losing streak, blowing close games and getting humiliated by the Saints. But Victor Cruz was putting together his out-of-nowhere 1,500-yard season, and Eli was having his best statistical campaign.
This was that year whenever Victor Cruz was going crazy?
Yet, they couldn't string consistent weeks together.
He put all the Vicks on the map once Michael did what he did.
And after his improbable comeback win in Miami, Tim Tebow's hype grew exponentially. He beat the Raiders in Oakland, then the Jets on Thursday night, driving 95 yards in the final minutes for the winning touchdown. The media was obsessed with him, and it didn't matter that he could barely complete 10 passes a game. Tebow was somehow winning anyway. Each week, he'd play terribly for 55 minutes, then pull off a miracle. Meanwhile, the Patriots, after falling to the Giants in early November, would not lose again in the regular season. Rob Gronkowski was putting together the greatest season ever by a tight end, and by month's end, he was about to break the record for the most touchdowns by one in a season. The defense was statistically mediocre, but New England was headed for another #1 seed, while the Ravens and Steelers were engaged in their annual feud. Their Week 9 showdown in Pittsburgh epitomized AFC North culture: hard hits, low scores, and personal tension. Late in the fourth quarter, Joe Flacco drove the Ravens 92 yards and threw a game-winning touchdown to rookie Torrey Smith with just seconds left. Baltimore had swept Pittsburgh and took control of the division. And in the NFC, Drew Brees was continuing to operate at a level short only of Aaron Rodgers. In Week 12, he hung 4.
Was this the Billy Cundiff year? Oh, God. Hey, yo, Juan, give me like 10 minutes.
49 points on the Giants, threw for 363 yards and added 4 touchdowns.
Juan, come back in like 10 minutes.
In November, Brees was on pace to finally break Dan Marino's single-season passing yardage record. Elsewhere, the Chicago Bears were climbing into the playoff race, with Matt Forte carrying the offense and the defense forcing turnovers in bunches. But Jay Cutler broke his thumb trying to make a tackle after an interception in Week 11, so Caleb Haney took over and the offense was doomed. A team that looked dangerous was finished in an instant. In Cincinnati, nobody expected much, but Andy Dalton and A.J. Green were establishing themselves as a formidable rookie duo. The Bengals were way ahead of schedule. It wasn't their time yet, but you could tell they were going to be solid for years to come. And in Houston, Matt Schaub went down with a season-ending injury, but instead of collapsing, the Texans rallied behind rookie T.J. Yates. They were flawed but tough, even if their season could only go so far without Matt Schaub.
T.J. Yates! Holy Jesus!
The story of December was still the undefeated Packers chasing history. They were 13-0, so close to the third perfect regular season of the modern era. But in Week 15, the shorthanded Kansas City Chiefs, coached by Romeo Crennel and quarterbacked by Kyle Orton, a man who'd been released by Denver earlier that year, led the Chiefs to a shocking 19-14 win. Perfection was dead, but Green Bay shrugged it off and finished a league-best 15-1 with Rodgers locking up the MVP. And the very next week, on Monday Night Football against the Falcons, Drew Brees broke Dan Marino's single-season passing yardage record from 1984. The crowd erupted as Brees hit Darren Sproles for a touchdown on the record-breaking play, and fittingly, the Saints clinched the NFC South in the process. The Saints won their final 8 games, and Brees would be named Offensive Player of the Year. But his tight end Jimmy Graham was putting the finishing touches on a season nearly as amazing as Rob Gronkowski's, ending with over 1,300 yards and 11 touchdowns. However, in Denver, reality caught up. After 2 more magical wins against the Vikings and Bears, the Broncos lost 3 straight to end the regular season. But thanks to the mediocrity of the AFC West, they still backed into the playoffs at 8-8. December also brought one of the most gruesome moments of the year. In Week 16, Adrian Peterson tore both his ACL and MCL against the Redskins. He'd been one of the few bright spots in an otherwise dismal Vikings season, still running like the most violent back in all of football. But the injury looked catastrophic, sending the Vikings into the offseason with their franchise cornerstone in doubt.
And this nigga came back and fucking 297. It's a player I like, so that don't hurt me.
Nobody could have guessed it would set up one of the greatest.
Why they can't dunk? Because niggas was complaining when they dunked on it that they tilted it whenever they did it. Kickers was mad or some shit. I don't know. But that's why they said you can't touch him no more.
Comebacks in NFL history just a year later. Elsewhere, Gronk finished the season with 1,327 yards and 17 touchdowns, both NFL records for a tight end. The Baltimore Ravens and Pittsburgh Steelers slugged it out for the AFC North, splitting the same 12-4 record, but Baltimore earned the tiebreaker thanks to their season sweep, giving them a first-round bye. In the eyes of many, they had the best defense in football, and the soon-to-be Defensive Player of the Year in Terrell Suggs, which ruffled the feathers of many fans who thought that Jared Allen and his near-record 22 sacks was more deserving of the award. The Texans finished 10-6 and clinched the AFC South, but the most electric player in the division was Jaguars running back.
I thought you said, why can't they? My bad, nigga, damn. I answered no more questions the rest of the stream.
Maurice Jones-Drew, who won the rushing title with over 1,600 yards. The Bengals were relegated to wild card status with the Steelers, but in the NFC, the 49ers closed the season as one of the league's most complete teams, controlling nearly every game. Their defense allowed the fewest rushing yards in the NFL and led the league with 38 forced turnovers. They ended 13-3 and locked down the 2 seed. The New York Giants, on the other hand, simply refused to die. After stumbling to 8-7, they entered Week 17 in a winner-take-all matchup with the Cowboys for the NFC East. Eli Manning outdueled Tony Romo in prime time, connecting with Victor Cruz for a 74-yard touchdown that set the tone for a 31-14 win. And the Detroit Lions clinched their first playoff berth since 1999, behind Calvin Johnson's league-leading 1,700 receiving yards. Stafford threw 41 touchdowns while joining Tom Brady and Drew Brees in throwing for over 5,000 yards this year. The Falcons rounded out the NFC field, sneaking in at 10-6, but they were not to be trusted.
Sneaking in at 10-6 is crazy.
Wildcard weekend kicked off with a first in franchise history. In Houston, the Texans finally hosted a playoff game after a decade of existence, and they made it count. Late in the second quarter, J.J. Watt read Andy Dalton's eyes and picked off a pass, returning it 29 yards for a touchdown. That play broke the game open and became Watt's first signature moment. Houston controlled the rest of the afternoon, winning 31-10 and notching their first ever postseason victory. And that same night in New Orleans, the Saints hosted the Lions for a track meet. Both quarterbacks came out firing, with Stafford hitting Calvin Johnson for chunk plays early, but the Saints' offense was relentless. Drew Brees completed 33 passes for 466 yards and 3 touchdowns. The game featured over 1,000 combined yards of offense, but the difference was execution. New Orleans converted 3 fourth-down attempts and overcame 211 yards from Megatron to win 45-28. Then on Sunday in New York, the Giants hosted the Falcons, a matchup of polar opposites. Atlanta all finesse, New York flaunting a physical defensive front, and the difference showed immediately. The Giants' defensive line smothered Matt Ryan, and the Falcons' offense failed to score a single point. There are only 2 points coming from a safety. Comparatively, Eli Manning was sharp and composed. throwing for 3
You niggas ain't score a single point.
touchdowns. The Giants rolled 24-2, and the 9-7 underdogs who barely made the postseason were up to something again. The weekend closed with the 8-8 Broncos hosting the 12-4 Steelers, and everyone assumed this was where Tebow Mania would die. Pittsburgh had one of the league's best defenses, while Denver's run had practically been built on prayers. But after a back-and-forth regulation that ended tied at 23, the game went to overtime. And on the very first play, Tebow fired a strike across the middle to Demaryius Thomas, who caught it in stride, stiff-armed Ike Taylor, and sprinted 80 yards for the walk-off touchdown, making for the shortest overtime in NFL history and one of the most unbelievable moments in playoff history.
That was amazing. That was an amazing fucking game, and I don't like
the 2011 divisional round was one of the greatest weekends of football ever played, and it opened in San Francisco as the 49ers faced the Saints. Breeze threw for another 462 yards and 4 touchdowns. But Alex Smith delivered the game of his life. In the fourth quarter alone, the lead changed 4 times. Darren Sproles caught a 44-yard touchdown. Alex Smith sprinted down the sideline for a 28-yard score to take the lead.
I ain't gonna lie, it was hard to not be a Tebow fan. I wasn't a fan of him like that because it was the Broncos, obviously, but it was hard. Like I wasn't mad that anybody was a fan. Like it's just I was hating.
Breeze to respond instantly with a 66-yard catch and run touchdown to Jimmy Graham that silenced the crowd.
Who won the 2010 Bowl? With the Packers.
But Alex Smith had one last drive in him. After a huge pass to Vernon Davis that got them into Saints territory, Smith hit Davis again over the middle for the game-winning 14-yard touchdown. Davis collapsed in the end zone, sobbing as teammates surrounded him. Harbaugh's 49ers had just beaten one of the most explosive teams ever, and the catch 3 was born. Later that night, the Broncos headed to Foxborough. Tebow Mania was cute, but it was no match for Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. New England dismantled them. Tom Brady tied a postseason record by throwing 6 touchdowns, and Gronk caught 3 of them. By halftime, it was 35-7. Final score 45-10. The Patriots advanced with authority, and Tebow's run, as improbable as it was, ended with a brutal thud. The following day in Baltimore, the Ravens
belted these niggas, bro. They belted these niggas.
Ravens and Texans scrapped it out in a game reminiscent of the 2000s. Baltimore's defense eventually proved too much, and Ed Reed sealed the game with an interception in the final minutes to win 2013. It wasn't pretty, but it was enough to earn a trip to New England for an AFC title showdown. And for the divisional finale, the near-perfect Packers had won 20.
We were supposed to get Rodgers Brady this year. We were supposed to get Rodgers and Brady this year.
21 of their last 22 games dating back to the previous year. But like 2007, when the Giants came to Lambeau, everything fell apart. Rodgers was uncharacteristically off after the team rested in Week 17. And right before halftime, Hakeem Nicks made the kind of play that defines an entire postseason, hauling in a 37-yard Hail Mary touchdown. That play broke the Packers' spirit, and the Giants continued to bully Green Bay on both sides of the ball. Eli Manning threw for 330 yards and 3 touchdowns in a massive 37-20 upset win over the Super Bowl favorites. By the end of the weekend, the Final Four was set. Patriots-Ravens, Giants 49ers.
We were supposed to get Kobe Bryant finals, I think it was 2009. But them bum-ass niggas lost to the fucking Magic.
3 elite defenses, 2 legendary quarterbacks.
Why do I keep getting...
In Foxborough, the AFC Championship between the Pats and Ravens became an instant classic.
Weak ass that. Who the fuck is that in the back? That nigga like a created character.
Classic. It was a game defined by missed opportunities and 1 missed kick. The Patriots led 23-20 in the final minute, but Flacco drove Baltimore to the 14-yard line. On second down,
I'm so sorry. I cried all the way home. This nigga said I cried all the way home in the back seat.
He hit Lee Evans in the end zone, and for a split second, it looked like the Ravens had taken the lead. But cornerback Sterling Moore punched the ball out at the very last instant. 2 plays later, Billy Cundiff lined up.
That bitch is woo.
For a 32-yard field goal to tie the game and hooked it wide left, completely blowing it. In the NFC
Nigga said he missed it.
Championship, the Giants and Niners went to war at Candlestick, but the game fell in the balance of 49ers punt returner Kyle Williams. In the fourth quarter, he muffed a punt that led to the Giants' go-ahead touchdown. Fortunately, the Niners tied it up, but in overtime he fumbled again, and the Giants recovered. A few plays later, Lawrence Tynes drilled the field goal to win 2017, sending New York to the Super Bowl to face New England again. 4 years earlier, the Giants had shocked the world, ending the Patriots' perfect season.
What's up, Lando? I'm streaming.
What?
So I'm streaming. What's up?
Same, nigga. I was just checking to see what you was doing.
Yeah, no, we over here watching football and shit.
Oh, okay. I gonna keep you. I download Disney Speed Star, bro. It's a PS game.
I text me the name of it.
I listen. Tell them niggas I said fuck Brady. Fuck Brady. Nigga terrorize the AFC. Fuck that nigga.
Yeah, bro. It's
that nigga, bro. You know how many times he stopped the Texans, nigga? Fuck Brady, nigga. Say it with me, nigga. Fuck Tom Brady. What the fuck? You hate him too.
Why are you trying to get me to start chanting?
Bro, we just started a chant. I can vouch for you. Because listen, Phillip went doing shit against that boy.
Whoa, relax.
Come on, bro. We all know Phillip was great too. Wise, he was doing shit against Brady. So we say, fuck Tom Brady. Fuck Tom Brady. Fuck Tom Brady.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Let me preach to you niggas real quick. It took an NFC nigga to stop this nigga twice. Let me preach to y'all real quick. I had my point Matt Sharp and David Covers and them going against Brady.
Nigga. Alright, let me
It is called Disney Speedstorm. It is a racing game, shit low key fun. What Lando talking about?
Speedstorm, okay, bet. Alright, nigga.
I want it. That whole funny it is. That shit funny. That's only bad as only 8 people that play. Fuck Nick Foles. Yeah, fuck Nick Foles too, nigga.
Whoa.
Fuck Tom Brady.
That's okay, yeah. Just keep it with Tom, yeah. Nick Foles ain't
Herbert versus Drake May. There's a new Tom Brady and Phillip Rivers. Yeah,
that's why I draw the line at. Lando, you have a great day, okay? You have a great day. You have a phenomenal day. Lando, you are nothing but blessings. Great Tom. You know what I'm saying? You're my dog. I'm a fuck with you, though. I'm a fuck with you. No, see, that's what we know. We ain't comparing them niggas, but we not finna have Phillip versus Brady again. That's not what this is finna be. Herbert is miles better than fucking Drake May, all right? That's not, no, Lando, no.
Now the Patriots had their chance at revenge.
No.
The game opened nervously. No. Tom Brady's first pass was flagged for intentional grounding in the end zone, resulting in a safety. But Brady recovered, finding rhythm, hitting Aaron Hernandez, Wes Welker, and Deion Branch underneath. Then he connected with Danny Woodhead for a touchdown to finish a 96-yard drive just before halftime, giving New England a 10-9 lead. By the third quarter, the Patriots were in control. Brady opened the second half with another long drive capped by a touchdown to Hernandez to take a 17-9 lead. Eli chipped away though, leading 2 drives that ended in field goals to cut it to 17-15 late in the third, setting up yet another heart-stopping finish. So with just under 4 minutes left, pinned at their own 12, Eli dropped back and uncorked a perfect deep ball down the left sideline to Mario Manningham. The coverage was perfect. 2 defenders draped over him, but Manningham somehow tapped both feet in bounds, hauling in one of the greatest throws of all time. It was the new Tyree moment. That play flipped the field and changed the game. Eli methodically moved the Giants down to the 6-yard line, and with just over a minute left, Ahmad Bradshaw burst through the line and then froze. The Patriots had let him score on purpose to save time. He tried to stop at the 1-yard line, but his momentum carried him into the end zone. Still, Giants 21, Pats 17. Giving Brady the ball back with 57 seconds to go. He hit Branch, then Hernandez, marching toward midfield. But with 5 seconds left, only one shot remained. He heaved a perfect Hail Mary throw into the end zone. And for a split second, it looked like it might actually happen. The ball bounced off a crowd, floated in the air, and just missed a diving Rob Gronkowski by inches. The confetti fell, and Eli Manning was now a 2-time Super Bowl MVP, both at Brady's expense. He finished the postseason with 1,219 passing yards, the most in a single playoff run in NFL history. It was validation. A 9-7 team that lost 4 straight in November was now a Super Bowl champion. Tom Coughlin had gone from hot seat to legend, and their pass rush, led by Jason Pierre-Paul, Justin Tuck, and Osi Umenyiora, had beaten the best quarterbacks alive in consecutive weeks. It wasn't luck. The Patriots, meanwhile, were left shattered, the Lombardi Trophy slipping through their fingers again. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video,
it's almost like the meta ain't changed, bro. Having pass rushers just wins you games. It just does. And that's the facts. Dim's the facts. Having multiple good or great pass rushers will win you the game. And that's as simple as that.